Hi, friends. So here's the question. What if you don't get what you want? Now, as we're taping this, we're just a couple weeks out from Christmas. So I was with a bunch of little kids and I asked them the question, what if you don't get what you want for Christmas? I actually didn't start it that way. I said, what do you want for Christmas? And then, they gave me their one by one. They said, hey, I want a makeup kit. I want doll babies. I want electronic gadgets. Then they would name these electronic games. I have no idea what they are. And then one kid said a rock machine. So I'm like, okay, a rock machine. So then I asked, what if you don't get what you want for Christmas? So I ask you that. What if you don't get what you want? And not for Christmas or a birthday or anniversary. What if you're not getting what you want out of life? What do you do with that? And in a particular way, what if you're not getting what you want from God? Or what you're asking God for in this life? Or you're expecting Him to provide? What do you do with that? How does that affect your relationship with God? Matthew 9, I think, provides a great response. Verses 27 through 31, Matthew 9. And in it, there are these two blind men, and they hear about Jesus, and on a particular day, they hear Jesus walking by them with this great crowd, and so they call out for Jesus to have pity upon them and to help them. And I love the exchange that follows. Jesus turns to these men who have asked for assistance. They haven't named it yet. But he says, do you believe that I can do this? Because they want to see. Do you believe that I can do this? And they respond, yes, immediately. And Jesus' response is brilliant. Let it be done for you according to your faith. Then they were healed. But we really have to pay attention to this exchange again. So two blind men, and they want to see. So Jesus says, he doesn't say, okay, be healed, I heal you, boom. He says, do you believe that I can do this? And without hesitation, yes. Then let it be done for you according to your faith. It is brilliant because this is what Jesus is saying. If we have little faith in God as we're asking Him for any number of things in this life, then we'll get little from Him and little out of this relationship with God. But if we have great faith in Him, great confidence in Him and His power to work in our lives, however it is that He works, by the way, then great things are going to be done for us according to our faith. Or little things are going to be done for us according to our faith. And the choice is yours. I say this because I've run into so many adults in my life who treat God more as a magician and faith as more as magic. So they're looking at God and they're expecting God to whatever it is that they want. And it can be some pretty important things in life, like a job or like our health or the health of a loved one or a relationship and any number of big things and small things. Help me, with my patience, for instance, or help me with my honesty, and you can name the virtues that we might be struggling with in their opposite as we're struggling with vices in our lives. We might even just want more faith and ability to trust in God. And as we're asking these things, then it's almost as if we ask God just to poof, give it to me. and you do all the work. But that's not the exchange with these two blind men. God is recognizing the work that the two blind men have to do. And you might be scratching your head and saying, what? Because the work that they have to do is faith. They just didn't arrive at faith one day when Jesus is walking by and they ask Jesus to heal them. No, without hesitation they respond, meaning that faith in God and the power of God to work in their lives now manifested through the incarnation of the Son of God, Jesus Christ, walking by them as Messiah. They have full faith and confidence in him, probably from years of living in faith and waiting in faith for God to act in whatever way God's going to act. And that does take work, and a whole lot of it. It isn't magic, and it isn't just God waving his wand. No, he says, do you believe I can do this? Yes. Then let it be done for you according to your faith. And that's where we have to get to. I think that's where we all want to get to. Is we want to get to a place in our lives where no matter what's going on in our lives, that when we ask God for something, we can say to him, however it is that you want to answer this, but here's my needs, here's my wants. But I have faith in you that however you answer this, it's going to be for my good. I'm fully convinced that if God answered the request of these blind men in a different way, they would have continued to follow him. Like, for instance, if we had the faith of these two blind men, we could say to God, heal me physically. But if God doesn't heal us physically, then we can say to him, heal us in whatever way you think is best. And then what ends up happening is that because we put full faith and confidence in God, we can see better than most people in this world. Faith is not seeing. It is faith that allows us to see. And see in deeper ways than if we had fully functioning eyes. I mean, you know people like this. I certainly do. People will have this deep faith in God that no matter what happens in their life, and in fact, a lot of things have happened, good and bad in their lives, and yet they keep growing in faith, and their insights and their wisdom and their patience and their love and their acceptance and the power of their life and their personal integrity and their giant character is all the result of all the things that have happened in their life and how they've allowed everything that's happened in their life to be experienced through the prism of faith. And in the case like this, somebody doesn't get their physical sight back because of that relationship and the way that they have this relationship with God. They're able to see God more clearly in this life than if they would, have their own eyes physically seeing him. I think that's where we want to go. And no matter how God responds to our cries, that we have confidence in him. If he heals us, great. But if he doesn't, then nevertheless we trust in him. And we allow him to use whatever it is that we're experiencing in our human condition in our life to be occasions for us to grow our faith. We will continue our physical blindness, of course, but our faith in God opens the faith of the eyes of our souls in deeper and deeper ways, and we see him in more complete and fuller ways and freer ways, and not despite the physical deficits that we have, but because of them. What happens if you don't get what you want in this life? I mean, a little kid, when I was having this conversation with these kids, and I said to them, if you don't get what you want, in Christmas, remember on Christmas Day, if all the things that are on your list are not in those packages, remember that you're getting a gift on Christmas Day that is better than anything that you could put on a list. And that gift that you're getting is not a something, but a someone. It's Jesus Christ. That God is giving you his Son. And this Son, just like these two blind men, he's walking by us every day. And he's always asking us, do you believe that I can do this? Whatever this is that he wants to do in our lives. And if we believe that he can do whatever it is that he wants to do in our lives, then his next words when we say yes is, let it be done for you according to your faith. That's where we want to go. To live as people who recognize our need for God and are always knowing that he is there walking by us in every occasion of our lives, and that we can cry out to him in our needs and our wants and say to him, whatever it is that you want to do, Lord, I trust in you, I love you, I believe in you, and I believe that you can do it. And then no matter what happens, whether we get what we want or we don't, we will actually get, when we live close to God, exactly what we want. Because the more and more, the closer we live to him, the more we want what he wants. We see what he sees. Our needs are his needs, and his needs become our needs. And the great faith that he has, that great things are able to be done. So let's be done with the small faith. Let's be done with God as the magician and our faith as magic. Let's be done with the day where when we don't get what we want in our prayers, we walk away from God. We stop believing him. We stop thinking he's relevant. We stop practicing our faith. Or when something bad happens to us, whatever it is in life, or even happens to us in the context of faith, or in the context of our religion, or in the context of our church or our parish, or in a relationship with a person who's supposed to be a Christian, no matter what that context is, we're not going to walk away from God based upon those experiences. We're going to run to him based upon those experiences, because we let all of those give us the great faith that we all desire. Till next time, see you, friends.